You are listening to Vitality with Marilyn, a podcast about health, wellness, and all things vitality. Having set herself free from life routines, embraced a healthy lifestyle, and lost an incredible 90 pounds in under a year, Marilyn is now supporting others looking to live their best life. Here to tell her transformative story and engage in enlightening and inspirational conversations, here she is, Marilyn.
Hi, so I'm taking this time to show you my gym. I just finished a workout with Kyle, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my home gym, the equipment I have, and why I got it. So just a bit of a note that you don't need this much equipment to do personal training or to start your own at-home workouts, but I've been loving it, and this space is now my happy place in my home. So I keep adding little pieces. At the very beginning, the first items were dumbbells, and I had these adjustable dumbbells from the get-go, so they go to from 5 to 52 and a half. So they're great, but it does have its challenges. They kind of like very bulky and stuff, and therefore I decided later on to start buying some free weights as well. And I don't know, how do you have most of your clients using free weights? I would assume so, right?
Yeah, I mean, most people don't even have weights up to that heavy. So, you know, some people will have the adjustable dumbbells. Others will have, you know, if they have the space and willingness, will have like a dumbbell rack with, you know, roughly what you have there.
In hindsight, I think if I was to start over, the individual dumbbell, if you have the space, and then you can just kind of progress as you go. And I do like to lift heavier. Sometimes that wouldn't be necessary, but in the free weights, I do have from as low as 2 up to 25. I had the bench at the very beginning. This is a kind of like a mix of a treadmill and a stair climber. I don't use that one at all, actually. My husband does. It's not my favorite, but he uses it every day. It's actually one of the like a really good cardio machine to get you like your heart pumping really quickly. So that's what I had at the very onset. And then when I started working with Kyle with the first assessment, I kind of asked, he asked what kind of equipment I had, and then I had the ball too.
You did have the ball.
I did have to fetch it out real deep from the garage, but I did have a ball. He suggested resistant bands. So that is what I did and bought first, which, sorry, I can pull them out. So now I have a whole collection of them. Again, not required, but I've been having fun with bands quite a bit. And so there's the basic ones.
I call them mini bands.
Yeah.
They're loops. So I mean, what they're really great for is working like hip abduction, or you know, different directions with the hip. I can show you a few things while she gets those out. So like primarily what I like to use them for, squats or just side steps, get the glutes firing. It's gonna help your glutes fire better while you're squatting, cueing you to drive those knees out and providing a little bit of resistance. But anything where you kind of need an anchor point and like a moving part, it's gonna work well. So like if that made sense, I don't know if that was the easiest way to say it, but another way, like I'm anchoring with this foot, I can work my hip flexors just by driving that knee straight up. So it's good for, like I said, like providing your own anchor point for the moving limb, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But it's not limited to its uses, but that is common use for those mini bands. I would highly recommend everybody have
we use them a lot
mini band.
in the sessions, and every package. I mean, these all came from like Amazon, very affordable.
Yeah.
And this one is a heavy. There's all kinds from very light to extreme, I believe. So those ones I got right away, and these things too. They're resistance band. use them for stretching a lot. And at the beginning, we use them a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, once you've accumulated all of this, right? Like you have cables which kind of, in a sense, take the place of resistance bands. It doesn't mean we don't have any use for resistance bands. But, I mean, this is not mobile, right? So you can't bring that to a park or something if you want to go train outside or to a friend's or on vacation.
I am taking these on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you could almost look at it as you know, not everybody's going to invest in a cable machine. So kind of leads me to my next point. If you know, a lot of times people ask me, and I feel like you probably would ask me anyways, like, what's a good starter home gym? It doesn't have to be much. You get yourself a set of bands, so like the open-ended bands that you could wrap around, do rows and so on, ones with handles. The mini bands or those mini loop bands, set of those. Stability ball can be very helpful when you don't have a lot of equipment. There are exercises we can do involving that and just use it as a bench. So like if you don't have a bench, you can do chest press, chest flies. There's all sorts of things you can do just in terms of increasing your variety of exercise with that simple stability ball. Exercise ball. And then I'd always say a few sets of dumbbells would go a long way. So like, you know, even just 2 sets, one light, one heavy for, you know, that can be applied for upper and lower body. So
yeah, but then
that's all you need.
And you love it.
But of course, if you're looking to increase your strength and you've kind of maxed out all that, then obviously that's where these heavier weights and this cable system comes into play.
Yeah, because I feel like we were using these a lot, and then they were, well, actually Kyle was holding one side.
I was your
You were the anchor and the post.
Yeah.
And we were kind of maximizing or tapping out on the.
Yeah.
I wasn't strong enough to keep up. That's it. One of the things with me, if you've seen or if you're gonna watch the video with the personal training session we just filmed, you'll notice that my wrists are an issue. So I've been from the beginning looking at things that were gonna help my wrist. So I do have a repetitive strain injury in my right hand from a lot of, many years of office work and using my hand a lot to write notes a lot. So I do have a strain here going out the way to the elbow. So that got me kind of looking at all kinds of things. But there are things that I bought, which the ones I use the most is wrist guards. So I do use them for push-ups and anything that's on my wrist. This has been a lifesaver. These ones are actually hooks for the bar there, which I could.
So yeah, those are useful for when you're trying to move weight, whether deadlifts or whatnot, that you simply just can't hold in your hands.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say those are a good means to an end, but as we increase weight, we do want to try to challenge the grip and have the grip grow, like the grip strength increase with the major mover of any particular movement. But given you have it's not just weakness in your wrist and your grip, it is an injury that we're just doing the best around, right?
Yeah. So there's the wrist. My grips are challenging at times too, so we do have used the bar on it. I do have some gloves that help me with the grips, so let me show that. And then we'll do the last one of my gadgets. Oh, actually, no, I have these too, but I don't use them.
You've got lifting straps, you've got like wrist straps,
yeah,
and then you've got kind of just exercise gloves, right?
Yeah.
Which do help, stabilize the wrist a bit, but mostly just that extra added grip, or like these disagree with your hands sometimes, so just to protect the hands.
So it's tricky, but the moral of this whole going through is that there are a lot of things to help, go through or surpass the little limitations when it's like ankles or wrists or so on that kind of gets in the way. But fortunately, Amazon's there and all of its little gadgets. And that has been a limiting factor. This feels like the body can handle more weight than my wrist and the whole thing. So.
Do you want me to explain these ones?
You can.
I have a good explanation for these. So these are awesome push-up accessories. So a couple things. One, if you have shoulder issues, it moves around, so it's like on a little swivel to allow your shoulders, wrists, arms to move the way they want to. So like a fixed position on the ground isn't going to be great for everyone for push-ups. And then also number two, I'm sure some people can relate to this, just supporting your weight in extension like that can be really uncomfortable on the wrist. So this lets you do a more neutral grip, like so you're not in an extension, you're just pushing up strong through the wrists in a neutral position.
I had gotten other ones before that are push-up bars, but definitely nowhere near as useful as this. And I find with them, you get a bit more depth, I think.
Yeah, so it actually lifts you up off the ground so you can get more depth in your push-ups. You're absolutely
and it's a
right
little bit
about
more
that.
comfortable. You're kind of not stuck as much in your kind of
Yeah.
sides. One of the things, I don't know, a few months in, maybe a bit more, the foam roller, I need to use this more, but Kyle's the one I recommended to get a foam roller. Again, Amazon, pretty cheap. There are all kinds of them though. Like I didn't know. So what I looked into, so I made sure it was a harder foam. There's all kinds. There's some with bumps and stuff, but I've read tons of reviews, and the bumps sometimes are kind of irritating. So this is what I ended up with. And there's also all kinds of sizes. It's a piece of foam. You roll on it, and then Kyle can actually tap
Those are nice. Those are nice because they're like you can bring them with you in a duffel bag or something, right? Like typically it's gonna be that and then double that length. And yeah, it comes in different densities of foam. I mean, depends just how sensitive you react to this. Like foam rolling should be uncomfortable, should be a little bit painful, but should feel good at the same time. If that makes any sense to a sane person.
Yeah, the definition of good pain.
Yeah, but like I personally don't get, and I'm a heavy guy, I personally don't get much benefit from like a squishy one, but some people will only be able to tolerate like a less dense foam, but a nice hard one is good to really get into the muscles.
Yeah.
So I mean, whether you're using it as a tool to warm up, we've all kind of heard like static stretching when the muscles are cold isn't necessarily the best way to warm up. So this is another way to kind of increase range of motion before a workout, and just get blood flow and circulation to the muscles, warm up the muscles. As well as like a post-workout or day after workout, you're feeling a little bit tight, just help reduce muscle soreness as well.
Yeah.
So those are the major.
You usually say like find a spot that really hurts and just keep rolling.
Yeah, or you can even just stay on it, right? Like we are rolling because it rolls, but the movement doesn't always have to be movement.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always have to be rolling. You can just find a spot. Mm-hmm. But it's a nice posture tool too, because again, you can use it to, you want to demonstrate?
Yeah.
So laying it back, this one here. So we want to get it kind of like just beneath the shoulder blades. I mean, you can do this a number of ways. And then hands behind your head, because I don't want you to strain your neck. Keep your knees bent. Yeah. And then you're just, so here, a lot of people have issues with thoracic extension, because like when we get bad posture, often it manifests in that thoracic spine. So that's something that most people can work on. So that just helps kind of push back against that sitting posture and try to either maintain or improve that range of motion through the thoracic spine.
The other piece here that we didn't mention is the kettlebell. I was actually really excited when I got that one.
Yeah.
That's again, a Bowflex adjustable, so you have many levels of weight. What's the lowest? 8? Yeah. 8 pounds to 40. And then you turn the knob. It's pretty good, but I feel again like there's certain kettlebell exercises that can that are harder to replicate because they're a bit bulky, but I've definitely recommend that one. I love it.
I'm a big fan of kettlebells. There's just certain exercises that are more conducive, and it's almost its own style of workout. So like kettlebell swings are really just not as manageable or enjoyable with any other form of resistance, in my opinion. So, you know, you can work kettlebell swings, single arm swings, you can work snatches easily, single arm shoulder press. It's all kind of its own style.
One of the things that I actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out which one to get is the mat. It seems kind of basic, it is, but you benefit from a bigger space. So the one I had right before was 6x4, which is the minimum that I would recommend in terms of space. If you have the space, for sure. And a good mat goes a long way. There's kind of a range, and for some reason these are free. Like, they're pretty expensive generally. So the good mat looks like nothing, but I feel definitely matters. The mirrors are something I got in early on. Very helpful for form and feedback. It was really weird when I got them all in.
That is very true. If you're working out with or without a coach, like, it's not an essential part of a gym, but it is definitely very helpful to get that feedback when you're working out on your own.
Yeah.
Or even I can tell you what to do differently, but it's good to get that visual feedback, right? Like, even if I'm here, you know, like, okay, you make that change and then you see how that looks, and then just more confident to move that way. Mirrors are not just for vanity, as many people think. In gyms, you just associate with people like checking themselves out. They're very helpful tools to learn movements.
The medicine balls are brand new addition within the last couple weeks, and this is kind of just to have more fun, more variety. Not required, but they're fun. So far, just threw them in a bit, but mostly the ones that I've used before in the previous years were mostly ab exercise, but there's all kinds of things that now we're good to do.
Anything a medicine ball can do, aside from like if you had a space with like a concrete wall that you were gonna maybe, you know, practice throws, but again, a trainer can help you that. I can throw it back to you. Or like slams or something like that. You know, that's not necessarily for everybody's indoor gym. But yeah, you know, something like an axe chop or a wood chop, I personally just prefer using a ball for that. You know, twist, but a dumbbell could take that place. But it's nice to have, if you're gonna like look for a new piece of equipment, it's nice to have a ball. I did say one thing you could use is a ball, and she came back with 5.
That shows how the extreme, eh? Oh, I got it.
Well, you got a deal.
I got a deal.
You got a set.
I got them used, and he said that, but we've used almost every one of them, so it was a good purchase, I think. The reason I got the cable machine, so at some point with the dumbbells, I was kind of hitting like a maximum weight for, like, the dumbbells are 52.5, and there's certain exercise. So so squats were getting really tricky with dumbbells, and deadlifts and RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. See, that's when I need Kyle. But they were getting hard. It was hard on my grip was not keeping up. So I was looking for a way to keep progressing in the strength training, and there were, you know, a lot of options that I looked at, because this is, I mean, it's a bit of an investment. However, this is pretty well priced for what it is. But anyways, all that to say, I did consider squat racks. There's like cement machine and so on. But this is a basement gym, and I have a lot of restrictions when it comes to height. So my ceilings are about 81 in some places and 83 inches in others. So if you are looking into kind of a bigger piece of equipment, make sure you look at your ceilings first before anything, because that did restrict my options quite a bit, and my space is very small, so I was trying to maximize. When I bought it, I was kind of trying to get it in the corner, but this actually worked out pretty good. So on this, I can work out basically every part of my body, and I'm loving it. The feeling of the pulley is just I just enjoy it quite a bit more than the heavy, especially for heavy. And then it gives me kind of all kinds of options in terms of and variety in the strength training. So love it. But again, not required. But if ever you're looking to kind of get your home gym to another level, this machine, and that's the Inspire. I want to say FX. It's a lower model, which works quite well, and it's got 150 each side. You gotta also, when you're looking at cable machines, just be mindful of the ratio, because that one is like a 1:2 ratio. So basically, when you're pulling on it, you're getting about half the weight in terms of resistance. So I got to learn a lot about this a few months ago, but definitely happy with my choice. The treadmill, so that was a lot of research as well. I was really getting into, well, since the beginning of my health and wellness journey, I've been walking a lot, and getting faster in walking, and then got into kind of jogging and so on, really got into it. So I knew that come the colder months here in Ottawa that I wasn't going to go outside much, because the cold does keep me inside during the winter. So I decided to buy a treadmill, and there is so many things that I found out about the treadmills. I ended up buying the NordicTrack Commercial 2950 and it has a huge screen, the 22-inch, so it's the kind of a higher end. And why I decided to go all out, so things to consider is the size of the motor, and again, there's professionals out there you can Google, but what I really found out is that the size of the motor, the size and the width and the length of the belt, and also kind of the programming. So NordicTrack has iFIT, which I really love. It's a bit pricey, but you get to do a lot of exercises with trainers, and basically I get to go run in Hawaii or Spain or anywhere around the world, and it's actually like people are actually filmed there. It's pretty cool. You can compete with other people, and there's a lot going on. I don't even use like half the features, but I do like to do the programming, and I've been loving it. There's also like there's program to learn how to run, learn how to do the intervals and so on. I use it quite a bit, and it's been great. If you're on the lookout and shopping for a treadmill, this one I recommend, and then you can send me a note too if you have questions about it. I could do a more wholesome review, but the experience with the screen has been really, really good. So that is about it. The only other thing I can say, when we finish this room, it's gonna sound funny, but I mean the color, I love how soothing the blue color is, and it makes me love being down here. The TV is I use it for to do any programmings on there, and my husband uses it to distract himself while he's doing some cardio. But this is about it. So if you have any questions about home gyms, why I made a decision or anything, just let me know. I'd be happy to share, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for tuning in to Vitality with Marilyn. Don't forget to join us on social, get involved in our communities, reach out if you have a powerful story to share, or send us a question you'd like answered. Take care for now, and don't forget to choose active, happy, and free.